Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley. I feel like I haven't done that in ages because last week's episode was just so out of control that it just didn't feel appropriate to give you guys such a peppy intro. I even debated on starting off with that regular intro for this episode because I was too through. To be very honest with you guys, this episode got me just as upset and as annoyed as last week's episode did. I'm just beyond disgusted and repulsed by Monique Samuels. I'm just in shock that somebody that I really went up for played in my face the way she did. To see somebody that I thought was a cool person on the show, to see her just do a complete 180 and to turn into this really vile and just real mean girl and have no remorse and to not take any accountability or ownership. This episode was just very, very, very disheartening. I am disappointed, to say the least. I'm over even being frustrated with this show. I will be completely honest with you guys again. I am over this season. I want us to get to the reunion. When I tell you, I better not see Monique Samuels on my screen season 6. I better not see it, child. I'm going to let you guys know right now, this is not going to be your typical recap like I usually do, how I play it scene by scene by scene. No, I'm just going to be focusing on Monique talking to the rest of the ladies about her version of her truth at Karen's house. She made absolutely no sense. Before, though, I begin on that, I'm going to say this one last time for the people in the back who have not been listening. Keep it respectful in those comments, okay? Keep it cute in those comments. This is my channel at the end of the day. It is called the Brooke Ashley's channel. There are going to be some things that you just might not agree with. If you are a Monique fan, click off right now and go watch somebody else. There are a ton of YouTubers who have been paid off to be on her side and to say what she wants them to say. Go watch them. I, on the other hand, am only going to be speaking on the truth and standing on the side of right. So I'm going to let you know right now, if you get out of line in those comments, if you start cursing, if you resort to some crazy name calling towards me or any one of my subscribers in those comments, you will be blocked. Blockiana. Okay? I don't play that. It's respect and good vibes over here. All right? I'm not going to say this again. Keep it respectful. Let's have some fun. Again, everything is not for everybody. I am not going to be for everybody. If you don't like my channel, that is completely fine. But you can free yourself, like Fantasia said back in 2004, because over here, I'm telling the truth. Monique is wrong. So again, if you are a Monique fan, I urge you to log off. And you can come back and watch me when I'm doing an unboxing or when SLC starts. SLC is in Salt Lake City. So you can come back to me then. But right now, you might not like me right now because I'm talking about Monique. And I don't like her. She's disappointed me. So I'm doing you a favor, okay? So it's no hard feelings. I totally understand if you cannot stand me because I'm talking about your fave. I get it. But log off of my channel because I'm not about to be arguing with nobody. I don't argue. I don't. With all that being said, without further ado, let's just get into just a few things that I observed in tonight's episode. Karen had the women over as a request of Monique's. she had the ladies over minus Candiace, and we saw that Candiace went to her therapist, Dr. Ken, to discuss the whole altercation, which was very it was very sad to watch. You know, her talking about how she was just confused as to why the fight started. You know, she regarded Monique as a sister, as a very good friend, and someone that she just really loved and cared about. So for this to happen, she's beyond traumatized. She doesn't feel safe. She just feels just very distraught about the entire thing, and she doesn't feel like she provoked anything or deserved what happened to her. And she's absolutely correct. She did not deserve what happened to her. She did not provoke Monique. And one thing that I keep seeing from people is, well, Candace provoked Monique. And some of you guys even said that you believe in that that phrase, talk ish, get hit. I'm trying not to use profanity, so I'm real classy based over here, honey. Now, if we're going by some of your logic that Candace provoked and that is talk ish, get hit, well then, how come Ashley hasn't been hit upside her head multiple times? Nobody's mouth is more reckless, destructive, or vile as Ashley's. Ashley's mouth is crazy. There's nobody with a crazier mouth than Ashley on that franchise. Where was all of this energy when Ashley called Monique an alcoholic season 3? She deserves several. If we're going by some of you guys' logic, right? Then Ashley should have been hit upside her head at least 6-7 good times. When Ashley was running around calling Robin and Juan broke season 1 and saying that they only had $25 in their bank account, where was her beat down? Where was this energy when Ashley was making fun of Karen and Ray when they were having their financial issues, and Karen and them had to move to Great Falls because, you know, they didn't have the money to stay in Potomac, seasons 2 and 3. Where was this energy when Ashley broke Katie all the way down last season in Turks and Caicos? She said that Katie was weak, stupid, and wasn't mentally fit to be in the group. Remember that? And Katie had a nervous breakdown and ended up leaving the trip early due to Ashley's comments. So if we're going by some of you guys' logic that Candace provoked Monique and that Candace has a big mouth, then how come Ashley hasn't gotten popped in her mouth 3 or 4 good times? Because like I said, nobody's beating Ashley in the category of a reckless mouth, because that girl's mouth is absolutely vile. I just really hate how the rules change for certain people. For this person, they can say what they want, but when Candace says what she wants, it's a problem. I kind of wonder if it has something to do with the fact that Candace grew up rich. Is that like the issue that of why she can't say what she wants, but everybody else can say what they want? Because I've also seen in the comments that Candace thinks that she's better than people. Candace talks crazy. Candace is a spoiled little brat. Candace doesn't talk any crazier than anybody else on that show. What does her social standing have to do with anything? How do you know she thinks she's better than people? Like, that's that stuff that I really don't like. And you know what's also interesting to me? I don't see this energy for the white franchises, because there are some very snooty white women on that show, but how can we see a black woman who came from something, it's a problem? I think I have a sore spot because I grew up similar to Candace, and I heard dumb stuff like that all the time. And I'm not anybody's snob. I'm not anybody's respecter of persons. I don't look down on people. I'm very cool. I got friends of all different backgrounds. I've always been like that. I've never thought anybody was better than me, but I never thought I was better than anybody else. Okay, let's be clear. So I really hate when I hear dumb stuff like that about, she thinks she's better. How do you know what she thinks? I don't think that she thinks that. I think that she's just a girl who seems to be down to earth and she just happens to come from some money. Why is that an issue when it's a black woman who comes from money? Girl, don't get me started because we'll be here all day. I just find it interesting that Candace has to shut her mouth and take what they dish out, but then when she defends herself, then it's an issue. I don't agree with that. They do not have the right to speak to her crazy, and then she can't defend herself. All of those women to speak to each other poorly or crazy at certain times of the show. And they all defend themselves, and it's not an issue. But it seems that when Candace speaks up for herself, and then when she, she outwits them, she outsmarts them, then it's an issue. And I don't think that that's cool. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Y'all can't switch up the rules because you think that she thinks that she's better than somebody, or you just flat out don't like her. No, fair is fair. The same way they talk crazy to Candace, Candace has every right to talk crazy to them. Period. And I'm not going to argue or debate anybody on that. It's just the facts are the facts. Like, I just don't understand what this double standard is with Candace. I find it very weird. It's a little off-putting because it's like they all get to go by one set of rules and Candace has to go by another set of rules. It's really weird. She has every right to defend herself if they're in an argument. She has every right. If they want to pull a low blow on her, she has every right to pull a low blow and call them whatever name she want to call them. So I don't understand this whole thing of Candace provoked her. Candace didn't do anything more than what Ashley has done, what Giselle has done, what Robin has done. Those ladies have all hit below the belt and said some really outlandish and crazy things, but you don't see anybody hitting them upside the head. But when it comes to Candace, then it's, we can fight her and attack her because her mouth is just so crazy. When her mouth isn't crazier than anybody else's on that cast. Miss me with it. I'ma always see through the BS, so miss me with it, please. And I've been watching this show since its inception. So if you guys want to pull out the tapes and we can take it back to the other seasons, we sure can, honey. I'm ready. I digress. We get to, it's the big day. It is the big day of Karen's big old mediation with the rest of the ladies and Monique. Robin and Giselle show up first, and I was cracking up because Giselle showed up with her bodyguard. His name was KB, and he looked like he wasn't taking no mess from nobody. And like the whole time, he was just sitting in the kitchen, but he had his eye out like, all right now, keep it cute. So then Ashley shows up. She shows up with her baby. I'm like, Lord have mercy, Jesus in heaven. If Ashley doesn't get somebody to watch that baby, I'm going to scream. I'm like, Michael's worth $70 million. You don't have 3 or 4 babysitters lined up? Come on. Like, girl, you got too much money to be without help. I'm sorry. You need to have 3 or 4 nannies on rotation, on deck. They, on call. Like, hey, I need you. This one just backed out because she's sick. I'm going to need you to come and watch the baby. Like, come on. That just was not the time or the place to have that baby there. I'm sorry. There's too much fighting, too much tension. The babies do not need to be around that. They need to be around good vibrations, positivity, love and light. They don't need to be around all these grown people arguing about stupid stuff. So Wendy gets there, and they're all talking, and they're all just like, she set black women back. This is terrible representation. Robin's talking about how she believes that Monique leaked the story to the press and paid off bloggers to spin it because it's just very weird and suspicious that the blogs were already reporting on what happened and saying that Candace started the fight. So they're all like, this is a mess. Now, let me just hold up. Wait a minute. Let me just back up a minute about, the ladies saying that this is bad representation for black women. Monique does not represent all black women. Monique made herself look like a fool. She didn't make the rest of us look like fools. 2, please don't do that when the women of Mob Wives fought every episode. I used to watch Mob Wives on VH1 religiously every Sunday, okay? Drita DeVanzo, Carla, Renee, and Karen got down every single week, every other day. And Drita's hands she got like registered hands, honey. Those things are like weapons, honey. That girl could fight a whole mob of people, okay? She was fighting down from the season premiere, okay? So miss me with it. Miss me with, you set the whole black race back. No, she hasn't. She set herself back looking like a fool. The rest of us are just fine. Miss me with it when Teresa Giudice is flipping tables and chairs, lions, tigers, and bears, her first season of Jersey. Miss me with it when Teresa was doing all sorts of tax fraud with her husband and ended up in jail. That's some real goon-like behavior to me. That's some real lowbrow, ghetto behavior to me. So miss me with it, okay? Let's not act like they're the only franchise to have ever fought. They've had some fights in Atlanta, okay? They've had some fights in Jersey, Beverly Hills even, when Brandy and Kyle got into it and Brandy pushed Kyle. Miss me with it when Lisa Rinna is throwing glasses in Amsterdam, making herself look like a stone fool. You know what I'm saying? So Wendy and Giselle Robin, chill out with all of that. You made Lottie Dottie everybody look bad. No, Monique made herself look bad. I think that fighting is lowbrow behavior, period. Okay? And it's not a race thing. So let's keep the race and, black women and how it makes us look bad. Let's keep it out of there. Because they're, white people and people of other races who have some sense and aren't racist don't all look at us like we're just crazy and act a fool. They know this is TV. They know that this is just one person who acted a fool. They know that it's not all of us. If a racist person thinks that we're all animals and we just fight and that's all we know how to do, they're going to think that regardless. It doesn't matter if you show up in a 3-piece Chanel suit and, have the best etiquette and eat with your pinky up. They're still going to view you in a bad light because they're just idiots. But please don't act like people who have sense are going to look at black people now like we don't have good sense and we're just fighters. Like, just stop. So that got me annoyed. But Monique finally gets there and you can just cut the tension with the knife. She starts crying and she's like, I am so embarrassed and so ashamed of my actions. I still can't piece together what happened. I blacked out. But I remember this, but then I blacked out on that. And then Monique just starts out and out lying and spinning the story like we didn't all see it. And then Monique was like, and then when she threw the drink, that was when I just blacked out and I remember just grabbing her hair. So then when Monique is telling her story, she's telling her side of the story, which we all know is a lie. Then we see one of the producers in the car ride home with her. And they're like, well, what happened? Like, we did not think it was going to go that far. And she's like, yeah, because, next thing I know, I was just punching her in the head like this, because I pulled her hair. And then that's what happened. And I was like, so you remember what happened in the car ride there? And she seemed proud of it. But then when you get in front of these ladies, you want to pretend like you just don't know. I just forgot. I just have amnesia. I just don't remember what happened, child. It's just all a blur to me. Like, what happened? What happened? So while she's talking, Giselle and Robin are just not here. They're not feeling her at all. And rightfully so, because Monique is talking that BS. Robin tells her off rip, Monique, you almost had me until you said that the drink was thrown in your face first, because that's not what happened at all. Wendy was saying, Monique, you're lying because you hit Candace first. Then somewhere or another, Giselle is getting just annoyed and she's like, I'm just going to take some notes. So she pulls out her phone. And Monique is like, oh, you're being self-righteous. And Giselle was like, no, I'm not being self-righteous. Like, I just want to take some notes because I got a few things to address with you because it's just your stuff's just not making sense. So now Monique keeps going on about what happened, and she's saying, and it was like, does Monique think that we're stupid? Like, we can all see what happened on the camera. We have all watched what happened, and we all see that you started this entire fight. Like, give it up. You're lying. Monique finally stops talking, and then Giselle is like, you know, this behavior is not a one-off. This is not a first, really, because you've said some threats before. And so she rolls out the list, and she's just like, you know, when I first met you, season 2, you said you were going to punch me in the face. So then the Bravo cameras rolled the tape back, and Monique surely did say she would punch Giselle in the face. Then Giselle is like, you know, then season 3, you and Robin had that argument, and you threatened to hit her upside the head with the umbrella. They roll the tape back, and then you see her and Robin going at it on the sidewalk outside of Karen's perfume event. Then Giselle brings up the whole incident at Katie's barn. She said, I'll drag you pregnant and all to Candace. So then Giselle's like, you know, I even told my daughters about the incident, and they're like, Mommy, do not hang out with her. This is just crazy. Like no, this is not right. So then Monique is getting defensive and being really condescending. So then Robin jumps in like, you're being super condescending for somebody who is like just dead wrong. So then we see, you know, eventually Giselle is like, you know what, I want to be here. I don't want to be anywhere around you. Like, I have zero respect for you. You're just like a disgrace pretty much. Like, I don't ever want to see you again, whatever, bye. So now Monique's trying to be snarky, like, okay, well then leave. So Giselle's like, I'm out, peace out, call you guys later. She leaves with her bodyguard. Giselle, you see, you almost had me, but now you had to put your foot in your mouth, because when you left, you said that me and Jamal have a reputation and an image to protect. Your image has already been shot and tarnished getting back with that man. You sound like an idiot. You always gotta just take things like a little too far. Like, you really just sound crazy. Jamal is a celebrity pastor who is a serial cheater, who cheated on you before you all got married, during your marriage, and then had a bunch of allegedly, he had outside kids after you guys divorced. Allegedly. You need to worry about your relationship with that man, making sure he stops cheating and stops embarrassing you. Okay? Just keep it at Monique was wrong, I don't want to be around her. But all that extra stuff and trying to put that extra spin like Jamal is some good guy, girl, knock it off. I don't even see any chemistry between you two, but that's neither here nor there. Monique is not tarnishing your reputation, okay? Like, stop it. So when Giselle leaves with her bodyguard, you know, they're all just trying to talk some sense into Monique. And Wendy kept trying to see if Monique was remorseful about it. She was like, are you remorseful? Like, are you aware of what you've done? And again, it was this double talk. Monique kept saying, I'm not remorseful right now, but I'm ashamed and embarrassed, and I'm aware. It was just like, girl, what are you saying? Like, she was constantly tripping over her words the entire time. Like, they weren't getting anywhere. They just weren't. It was just so annoying to watch. And then Ashley was trying to like take up for her and say that, you know, Monique does feel bad and has taken accountability. And, you know, Candace does bring people to want to fight. And Robin and them were like, no, like, Wendy even brought up how, you know, she's been called the N-word and how people have tried to harm her, or, well, they've threatened harm on her as a, you know, as a news commentator. And she's just like, and that doesn't bring me out of character. So like, what Candace said to you shouldn't have brought you out of character. Like, even Robin was like, yes, Candace can be annoying and has a mouth on her, but she could never bring me to that point where I want to fight her. Like, y'all, I'm just worn out. I'm really worn out. You know, I was happy to see that Karen did call Monique out towards the end and was like, Monique, I love you, but you were wrong. What you did to that girl was just dead wrong. I'm just disgusted. She didn't take accountability. She just like refuses to acknowledge that she's wrong. I'm ready for the reunion. Andy, I know that your folks watch my channel. We'll talk about that another day, y'all. But please listen to me. I just beg of you. Please have please have everybody at this reunion. Please have Sharice and Gigi and the trainer come to this reunion and clear some things up. We want the truth because it's been buried under a lot of lies on Monique's part. Please, we just want to put all this nonsense to bed because I'm just tired. The episode ended with Karen and Monique sharing a hug. And Karen said something to the effect of, you know, I don't want this one mistake to define you. I want you to show other Black women that, you know, you can get over it and that, you know, you overcome hard situations. And then when Karen said, yeah, and I want you to tell your story to other Black women. And then when Monique said to her, yeah, and I'm also going to tell them how not to provoke people. It's just kind of like, girl, you just refuse to acknowledge that you're wrong. Monique, I'm just beyond disgusted with you. I think it's a real shame that you have pulled the wool over so many of our eyes. I was just such a big fan of you. And to see such a nasty side of you, it's just awful. Candace did not deserve that. I will stand 10 toes down in that. Nobody will get me to change my mind, y'all. This episode just really took everything out of me. I was just so over it. I really was. Y'all, let me know how you all feel. You all know what to do. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later, guys. All right, child. Bye.